everyone, Senrai here. Today I'm going to be watching the 4th episode of Isekai Meikyuu de Harem. Oh, and last episode we basically had protagonist Kun working hard to make the money, through the dungeon crawling method. And at some point he kind of decided that this just wasn't fast enough. It wasn't really bringing in the big bucks that he needed. So he kind of, bit of a light bulb moment, decided killing bandits was the way to go. So we just kind of figured out what they're all about, what their deal is, where they are, just how to go about things, and then just executed. Just snuck on in there, got deep in there, where they sleep and stuff, and just slish. I think that's the sound it made. But yeah, just cleaned them off one by one until he killed enough, basically. Cut off the limbs, cashed them in, got the money, went to Roxanne, and just purchased his very first slave, which is a very special day in any young man's life. And now, starting with this episode, we get to build a real dynamic between our two characters here. Because up until now, it was basically just quick little greetings or whatever when we went to go see Roxanne at the place, right? But now we actually get to live together, dungeon crawl together, bed crawl together, and we may get some of or both of those things in this episode. So yeah, let's just jump on in and see how our new duo here, what their dynamic's like. So it should be a fun one. So let's jump on in. 3, 2, 1, play. We only need one bed though, by the way. I see some ear twitching there. But okay, we saw our duo. Didn't get any dialogue from Roxanne just yet, but I'm sure it's coming. And that is Roxanne silhouette, all right. Everyone else is probably gonna have to wait a while before we really get them into the show. And we spent so long getting Roxanne, you know, we gotta focus on her for a while. Everyone just kind of have to wait their turn. They got their like cameo in episode 2. They should be fine, right? Honestly, this might be one of those shows where I just jump right into the source material when the first season's over, because I don't expect it to get more. It might be one of those shows. Because they hardcore tease me with a full-on cast that we're probably not going to get in the show, unless they, like, rush it, right? Which in itself is not a good thing. Stab it right in its eye. All of them. Yeah, she really does dodge those spider legs really well. And still manages to get that stab in there. But, you know, protagonist Kun given the final blow, it kind of looks like. But, yeah, our still card. We have to do that first before the show begins. Why is it like it should be locked? I don't know why it's not locked. Okay. Referring to recording stuff. But anyway. So this is our room. We definitely need more space if we have Roxanne. And yeah. It's okay, you can come in. Not sure there's a line in it. It's supposed to represent its subconscious thinking rather than out loud dialogue, I guess. I mean, it's fine. But if it's a first day with you, it makes sense to be a little bit nervous. You know, new environment, new everything. Wasting no time, I see. I can respect that. That would have been the first thing I did. Skinship is definitely very important between party members. Nothing to feel guilty about. Kind of like almost like a squishy sort of sound effect. More of a sound effect than I'm used to with like ears. Master, are you done playing with my ears yet? I mean, it would be acceptable to me. Well, that got him going, understandably. Okay, was it pushed down in his head, I guess? It was very misleading. Yeah, I wonder what we're gonna do about that. Yeah, that is true. Did you not realize what you did? Yeah, like a double bed. Did you not get that? I mean, the tone of voice he said it in should have given you a bit of a hint, you know. But yeah, no problems here. You would not believe me if I told you I was an isekai protagonist, would you? Please be my teacher for this foreign land. Yes, I need a party member. I look forward to it. I mean, we see her in the opening, so we know she's got skill, to a degree. Look, got a school uniform almost. Does she need them? Yeah, she doesn't have any. It's a hardcore way to live. What, you never stand at her feet? What's wrong with you? Now it just feels wrong. Are they gonna reach? Okay. I guess they just do that. Very convenient stuff. Yeah, our world does not have that. I guess like a maid uniform, okay. Get a better look of it here. Well, yeah, she's your slave now. I don't think she's allowed to do that. uh, I mean, does she need protective gear? That involves covering up more skin, I'm pretty sure. Which is not okay. We do see her with a shield in the opening, though. Can I help you? I feel like the shield she has in the opening is a little bit smaller than those ones. But it's hard to tell. Those are definitely shields. Well, it's an important decision. This is the thing that's supposed to keep you alive in a dungeon, you know. You don't want to rush the decision. Socks, towels, you know, all the important stuff. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of blood flying around. You spoil your slaves so much. Okay, we're gonna be here a while. Roxanne is pretty great. Yeah, nothing to complain about. I would never think it. I go with the blue one. I think that's the obvious choice. It's never the right answer with women. Pick the blue one. Subdued color. I mean, her voice did sound kind of disappointed, but... Right. Well, I guess that works out. Definitely. I'm certainly not gonna say no to that. Definitely, yeah, definitely very important, and that's I know it's imagination sequence, but I do approve of those if you wanna, if they have those in this world. Definitely. You never know when they're gonna just get, torn up and stuff, so definitely want to have some backup ones. Yes, but what will we do when we get back, though? Anything in mind? She looks a little bit nervous again. I wonder why. Yes, and there's no reason why you can't join me on it. There's plenty of room. Yeah, it's a good point. Well said. I think we'd rather you be in the bed. Yeah, we definitely feel bad for her just laying on the floor like that. For your sake, really, just sleeping together, just trying to be considerate. It's... Gonna polish that sword. Definitely a good point. She was clearly a good purchase. I think that's pretty obvious at this point. I like how they showed the chest while she said that. But I'm a slave. We can't do such a thing. We are definitely in that awkward, period where we're, build, uh, yeah, this is happening now. I was gonna say something. I don't know what it was anymore. And I don't care what you do, but at least face the camera over there. That's all I ask. We're getting pretty close, but it's probably not gonna show the best part. Okay, it just got better. The tail's a little bit in the way, but it kind of makes it better in its own way. But definitely covers the important bit. Oh my god, that does look pretty good. They really do know how to use the animation budget in this show. That was like GIF, animated GIF worthy right there. So thank you for that. If I was him while she's polishing the sword, I would polish my sword. And it's nighttime. Yes, thank you for the hot water. We will make good use of it. Just don't panic. Preferably with your chest. Yeah, it's definitely nothing to feel awkward or anything about. It's... No, go harder. Harder until you're about to break me. Proper Japanese bath and all that. I bet. So you have a reason to become more wealthy in life, I see. Gotta get a nice big bath for the whole harem at some point. Okay, that's the important part. Definitely important to keep your slave clean. You definitely should. I mean, it's being a wolf kid is a perfectly good, perfectly good excuse for a little bit of hair. Don't even worry about it. Some violence is okay, I guess. But yeah, those things are definitely very impressive. Yeah, there's definitely no need for that. But it's day one. Just no need to. Get a chance to play with her hair. You have to phrase it that way. Well, there's no need to ask. I'll just go ahead and do it. Oh wow. Okay. It's definitely not enough. You definitely want to make full usage of those things. And it seems like he's about to. Want to see if we can get some milk out of these things. She's a wolfkin, right? That might be possible. Okay, it's good to see he's not too hesitant on it. He just goes for it. I can really imagine how soft those things would be. Like, you can't even contain the whole thing in your hands. I'm sure he's not wrong. Yeah, maybe we should get back to Washington for a little bit now. Washing the fluffy tail, almost as good as the other part. Can you smack people with it? Can you use tail whip? She's about to get on all four. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. Oh my god. What a shots, what an angle. What an everything. Please keep doing it so I can confirm that that is the case. As your party member, I want a good idea of how much, tail usage you have. Is anyone else sweating, or is it just me? Oh, now she covers the nips. I bet. Okay. Now she can't cover them because her hands are busy. We found a loophole. There's no staying calm in this situation. It's a great POV shot. I guess that's enough hair covering for now. Are we gonna move over to the bed? Break in the slave properly, or well, okay. You don't have to. Well, well, you're not wrong, but I mean, I could go either way, really. It is more than all right. The tail really does cover a lot, but can she at least waggle it a little bit? Doesn't have to be a huge amount. But okay. Definitely looks like we're about to do it. time do we have left, actually? Okay, not enough time. Yeah, this is basically the moment where he's glad he becomes Isekai. It was rough up to this point, but, you know. It was all worth it, I'm pretty sure, is what he's thinking. I mean, one of the many things he's thinking. I mean, one nice thing about doing it with a slave is you don't have to worry too much about, you know, ruining it and having to run away unsatisfied, you know. She's kind of obligated to stick around. Indeed. Okay, let's zoom in. This lucky man. Don't we all? May I suck on them? Can I play the bongos? I mean, you already did that, so you already knew that. I mean, I guess before he did kind of have the towel in his hand, I guess, but... I'm sure it is. Okay, I don't want a POV shot of that. Told you would suck on him. You kind of have to. In fact, probably the first thing I did. Wow, he's double. Wow, okay. He doesn't mess around. I mean, she's not going to say no to pretty much anything you say. That's kind of part of being a slave, but I guess just politeness, you know? You gotta ask, I guess. But yeah, they are definitely not holding back at all as far as what they're showing. I mean, I kind of expected as much, but still. It's still managing to go even a little bit further than I was expecting, and impressively. I'm actually kind of starting to get a little bit ready myself, if you know what I mean. Okay, the hand-holding, now we've truly entered the lewdness territory. Camera shoots straight to the mouth, as you should. Okay, yeah, I'd say that was a pretty successful first night with our new slave. Went pretty much as well as it could have. So no time for any actual dungeon crawling, but I guess we'll get that next time. Okay, I mean, she listened. Told you she was a top-tier slave. Just, seriously, this lucky son of a bitch, it's... I mean, I knew what I was getting into, but still, I'm so jealous of this guy, I just kind of want to slit his throat in his sleep. Okay, I mean, it's obvious what she's got to do now. And then, at the end of the episode? Yeah. End of the episode. Jesus, am I sweating now? The real question is, once we get other members, are we actually have some, like, three-way action? Because that could be something. I mean, you have to, right? If you have a harem, you have to at least, you know, utilize that newly opened opportunity. I wonder what the non-sensitive, not the censored version of this episode is like. Probably pretty lame, I would imagine. And yeah, just his face, I guess, for our ending bit here. He wasn't even in the episode, but I guess it's fine. I definitely had chosen something different for the ending bit there. But because there were definitely some pretty good shots in the episode to choose. But yeah, that was the 4th episode of Isekai Meikyuu de Harem. Oh, right. And this episode more or less went how I was expecting it to. We now have a new dynamic to build because obviously she wanted to come with protagonist Kun and he wanted her, but once you actually get together, you do have a lot of stuff you kind of have to figure out. One of which was, just getting her equipped with stuff because we are going to be dungeon crawling together, so she's got to make sure she's got the equipment, and she definitely, knows what she wants, knows, like, equipment quality and stuff like that, right? She, very, very particular about these sort of things, and also values her master's opinion, right? Which is certainly a good thing, right? But yeah, spent quite a bit of time just shopping and stuff, right? But eventually we got past all that, and we had the actual inn stuff. And I feel like we spent at least roughly half the episode in the inn, because we had the baiting stuff, which I feel like that took a while, honestly. But yeah, really not too much to say about that, really. Just he watches her, she watches him, with still a little bit of awkwardness because we're trying to get a routine and get a feel for everything, really, because every master is going to be a little bit different about how they want to handle things, and slaves, for lack of a default term, are kind of like have a factory setting, and you kind of have to adjust them for your personal needs as a master, right? And we're kind of in that period here, where she's like, should I do this? Shouldn't I be doing this? That kind of thing, and right? And you can give her in specific instructions, like the morning kiss and all that, right? Just important to do that kind of stuff, but he's also making sure to fully not analyze, but you get a feel for a slave, right? The hair, the everything else, direct touching, and definitely was not shy to do that. Yeah, one hand had the talent, but the other hand did not, so we definitely did get a feel for it before the actual bed scene, right? But well, even watching the tail, which is obviously very, very important, very, very important. But yeah, we finished up the washing, had some hair washing as well, had some decent POV shots as well, and then we had the bed scene itself, which was definitely pretty good, I would say. Like I said, showed more than I expected it to. Like, we actually had thrusting and whatnot, which is usually more than you would see even in ecchi shows, right? I did kind of see people compare this to Read You of a Healer in terms of like the level of that they show, how much they show, how explicit they get, and it's definitely comparable, right? I mean, I'd have to like side by side look at comparisons like to really compare them, but it's definitely at a similar sort of level, right? There's no ambiguity, there's not much is left to the imagination, really. Basically, the only thing that's not shown is stuff that would get mosaics in a hentai, right? That's pretty much the only stuff that wasn't really shown for the most part. But yeah, overall, I'd say the first day went pretty well. Can't really complain too much. And it looks like next episode we're going to shift into the more dungeon crawling sort of stuff, and that'll be like the other half, right? Because there's 2 halves of the dynamic that they have to establish, the bed half and the dungeon half, right? First half we did this episode, second half we can do next episode, right? And I don't know how much longer after that we will wait before we introduce our next member to the harem/party. Or I don't even know who would it be, honestly. We had like a flash forward with multiple girls and stuff, but we don't know who comes next, right? So that's something to kind of look forward to as well. Like, I don't want to be spoiled on that or anything. I'm just curious who the next one will be, and hopefully whoever it is does get along with Roxanne, right? Because as far as building a harem of slaves go, the first one is obviously the only one, right? But once you get a second one, not only is it the dynamic between you and the master, there's also a dynamic between the slaves themselves. And once you expand past 2, it's not too bad. But once you get the first 2, there can sometimes be some headbutting, right? Like who's the favorite and stuff like that, who gets master's attention more, that kind of thing, right? Roxanne's a pretty friendly, girl. I don't think she would really be too inclined to headbutt with a new member, but I don't know about the new member themselves. They could, start be kind of antagonistic-y, But anyway, that's like a future thing to worry about. As far as this episode goes, I mean, a lot of these episodes didn't really deliver much on the ecchi tag, right? But this episode most certainly did. I don't think anyone would argue otherwise, so definitely makes up for it. And it's pretty much like I thought, before you actually have your first slave, you can't really do much with the ecchi tag, really, beyond quick imagination sequences. So it wasn't really the show's fault completely, but now that we actually have the means to do so, they made sure to do so. So, can't really complain too much. Very, 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 very solid stuff here. And, yeah, that's really all I got to say. So, thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.